Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is Rasaji Speaks. So happy to be with you. Hope you had a great weekend with your God, with your family, and you were able to be a blessing in someone's life. Today, Monday, we're into our first Monday in August. A whole new month has begun. We're happy that you're here with us and hope that you enjoyed the first half of the year. Let's see what the title of our Monday lesson is. Jesus, was he a city master? Was he a yogi? Jesus, was he a city yoga master or was he a yogi? The simple answer is yes and yes. After Jesus studied the city yoga techniques for a good 2 to 3 years in India by some of the most incredible masters on the planet, actually had his head shaved in Benares, India by Babaji. And later, Paul the Apostle refers to the shaving of Jesus's head as the Nazarene rite, as the Nazarene rite, right? So Jesus, basically, when he left to go back to Galilee and back into Israel, he was to take the basic yoga and city yoga principles and impart that to the people of Galilee. Of course, with most of the people, he only had about 3 to 5 years to do that. Why do I say 3 to 5 years where the Bible seems to pretty much center around 3 years? Well, Jesus comes out openly, as we know, after he's baptized by, his cousin, but his cousin was leading the mystical group, the Essenes, John the Baptist, who was 6 months Jesus's senior. Jesus then began to come out openly, but before that, Jesus was already working with John behind the scenes, and he was sharing with them the different experiences that he had, especially with Andrew and Philip, who were big followers at that time of John the Baptist. Of course, there was John the Beloved that was there, and John the Beloved was with him in the travels. So you had Andrew and Philip and John the Beloved. John the Beloved had an extra 16 plus years with Jesus, and then set by Jesus's side as he began to instruct the Essenes on things he had learned from the city lineage, but also from the lamasery in Tibet. Jesus spent over 6 months at the lamasery in Tibet. It was amazing that how fast this individual would absorb information. Reminds me of what they used to say about Bruce Lee. I remember Chuck Norris, the famous martial artist, if you remember, the Texas Ranger, did a lot of martial art movies before he landed that role, and that was the role that made him very popular. But before that, he did a lot of movies, and one of the most earliest movies he did was called The Way of the Dragon, where he fought with Bruce Lee in the final scene in the Roman Colosseum. A lot of people don't know this, but Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee were extremely very close. And Bruce really helped Chuck get on the screen. But quoting Chuck Norris one day, he said, they asked him, what kind of martial art is Bruce Lee? And he said, he's the kind of martial art that you'll teach him a sidekick today. In a couple of months, he's done that sidekick 1,000 times. And he'll be doing it better than the master that taught him that. This was Jesus. This was how Jesus absorbed his yoga. Obviously, he had been a yoga master before. We know in Kings 1 and 2, if you take a deeper plunge, we'll see an incarnation of Jesus even in the Old Testament. Also with John the Baptist, where John the Baptist appears to be Elijah, and his protege is Elisha, which was Jesus. And if you do some real serious digging, you'll make that connection. It's one of the reasons they were so closely connected in the incarnation of Jesus and John in Jesus's ministry as Jesus's cousin. That happened so it would be without a doubt that they would make a connection in this incarnation. That's what happens a lot of times when we're born into families. One of the reasons we choose to be in particular family is to make sure that the two of us will meet in this lifetime, and that during that meeting, our souls, our sharats, will wake us up. Jesus, by far, was a protege of the Siddha Yoga teachings and then took it to such a level of mastership. Just imagine if he'd have stuck around another 10, 20, 30 years, what would have happened? We look at how people today still trying to figure out his teachings. The Lamasery is not trying to figure out his teachings. The Lamasery shares his teachings, and you get them here at thecircleofchi.com. We're so happy to have you today. Look forward to seeing you bright and early Tuesday morning. Rakabashai, may the blessings be to you and your glorious family. See you early tomorrow. God bless.